compose files, we just simply copy paste the docker compose from the our project directory and put it in our deployment directory. Just simply here the docker compose files, we just open it and you see that version 3 we are using, and this is Grafana, just like simply using the Grafana, the latest image from the Docker hubs, and it can container names, and restart and unless start and expose the 3000 port numbers, and then expose 3, and then this is the 3000 ports from this is the container port, and this is your external port, the browser port, and it's linked to the Prometheus, and you see the link between the two services. It has a volume information, so data Grafana volumes information, and then we define the Prometheus, and this take also the same Prometheus latest image from the Docker hubs, and it has a container names, is a same condition, it has a volume definitions, and this is the configs folders. We define in the config folder we have like our Prometheus configuration files, the configuration image file data folder, and this is the commands where the container need to be set the Prometheus YAML files. So this is the Prometheus YAML file that we defines, you see, and then it has a specific, it has a global scap intervals, elevation intervals 20 seconds depending how you monitor your application, and then it has the external levels, the monitoring levels, it has the roles, and then just like I just simply copy paste from the Google and put it like my informations, and everything working properly what we are expecting. So that means you don't need to remember everything, just Google take the one example from Prometheus YAML files, and you need to be really properly put it like this, the location of your files, meaning yeah, I put it like the location of files, you see the config, and then you need to be put it here, these files, exactly this location you need to be, and you need to see these files. The configs, because we defined in the Docker compose file, the volumes is located into the config folder, then Prometheus YAML file you need to be copied into the container etc, and then Prometheus directories that need to be copied there, and this is the commands for the copying copy commands, the file location path commands. So it's exposed the 9090 Prometheus services and the port 9090, and it's linked to our user registration application itself. So that means there's the Prometheus is Grafana is linked to the Prometheus, and then the Prometheus itself is linked to the Prometheus. Our Spring Boot application is linked to the Prometheus, and then this is the definition of the your database connectivity. You see we have the network links, and then we have some container information names and the database volumes, and then this is environmental file that is located, and the database connectivity information. That's what we define into the environmental variables here. So globally set this variable for installation team that they need to be simply changed where they try to install your microservice application, which port are free, and that's all, and then they need to be changed the username and password of your database, and it should automatically works. That's what we are expecting, and that's the reason I said this is really like how we are in the professionally, how we work to how we install or deploy the application into the from the installation team or administrative team. But if you are working with a small company, then you are responsible to build that to build from your side to make this application deployable in any part of the world, or in the deployment application into the cloud platform. So it's depend. That's why I said this is the really best practice of DevOps, continuous integration, continuous deployments. That's the reason you need to be learn. You need to be understand how the CI/CD works in the reality in real life. Then you are responsible for the all levels of development, even though all levels of deployment process. So go back to Docker Compose file. So we have a Spring Boot application itself. So you see our image, the Docker image. That's we have it in the Docker image, and it is built from the Docker files, the Docker definition files. If I go to the Docker files, see exactly the very simple Docker files. So open JDK and then build the maintainers, and then simply copy your standalone jar file. So we create the standalone jar file with the commands that we show you, and then you just simply copy the standalone jar file into the container directory in app.jar directory, and then run the very standard Java jar commands to run the Spring Boot applications. So this is the location. So we put it like the image names and the port number, and then the versions, which version we are, and then expose the 200 and port number 2020 8080, and then this is the environmental variables settings, and that we can also put it like one times, but just we override it like that. So networks informations, and then that means the our Spring Boot application depends on the link our Spring Boot application is depend on the database instances like Postgres instance, and so we define the volumes information and then networks information. Just very basic and very straightforward Docker Compose files. And then if you define the Docker Compose files, and then you need to be run the applications what we are expecting. So that means the requirements from the requirements was to deploy the application is a proper Docker Compose based deployment. So we just simply build the Docker image out of our standalone jar files, and we write down the Docker Compose files, and it is an application file there, and then we put it like the global variables, the environmental variable to run the applications what we are expecting. So just we need to be simply go back to the PowerShells. Or here we can see we are running the applications we are using the Docker desktop tools, and then you see our after creating the Docker image, and then you see the Docker image. So I created 3 hours ago, and then it has downloaded the Prometheus, the latest image, and also Grafana latest image. So you see all the images, and also you have good tools. You can also do the inspect, pull, and push to GitHub, remove all the. This is I found really good tools. And a lot of companies are using the Docker desktop tools for as they are working as Windows systems. If you are working operating Linux or Macs, then you have alternative possibility for the Windows user. A lot of users are using these Docker desktop tools. You see that all the application that we have it in application running. So you see our database running applications, the containers, and also the our Spring Boot applications running, and this is the Prometheus monitoring application container, and also the Grafana container. So 9090 is the Prometheus is running, and Grafana is running 3000, and then database is 543 to default port, and user registration our Spring Boot application is running 2020 port. So that means image is there, then all the volume definition what we have it here. That's a little bit slow. It's coming very soon. Maybe okay. It's coming very soon. So that means we put it all the volumes that you see all the volume definition what we did in the volume means those are new into this volume definition. Just Google it, or then simply volume is the mount you local host, and then also the container. So it's sharing the storage data, and then sharing when the application started it looking for the mount volumes points and the path, and then take the data from the mounting points. So that's the reason. So you see all the definition of our volume definition. So all the images, what images we created, and which images downloaded from the Docker hubs, and the application is running. So let's stop the application first, and then we can go together how it is works. So I already run the application, and then now I see the application alter shape C. So it's down as you see the stop the Spring monitoring Grafana, monitoring Prometheus, user registration application, and database is stopped. So we can CLI So we can see the Docker PSS, the process, all the process. That's this empty processes, and we can see Docker images is how many images we have. So that we have all the images that we defined it here. So let's continue the